listen up, y'all. It's the queen of automation, Meghan Donnelly, here to give you inspiration. Founders and business owners gather round. I'ma show you how to build systems that'll astound. Streamline your processes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Queen of Automation podcast, where we talk about automation, AI, systems, technology, and why they're only good when they work, and how I help you make them work. So today we are talking with Kevin Brunnock, and yes, I think I may have just butchered his name, but Brunnock, yeah, well.
Brunnock.
Yeah.
It's okay.
we're there. I am like the name butcherer when it comes to intros, but yes, I met him in Brandbuilt. He's an awesome guy. I like to call him like the guru of like real estate in New York City, because how cool would it be to run a real estate business in New York City? I just think that sounds like the coolest job ever, because I'm kind of obsessed with New York City. And so I'm going to turn it over to him and let him give you a little bit of a backstory, because it's a cool story. And the reason I like Kevin so much is because his content is awesome. He has kind of taken a different approach to content creation and networking that I think is really fabulous to the operations side of his business. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Hi, Kevin. Tell everybody where you're calling in from.
Hey, Megan. Fantastic. Thanks for the intro and all the kind words. And it's great. Really glad we were able to connect. You know, we had met a while ago through Brandbuilt, and there's so many great relationships that start there. Aaron and Nat, the two leaders of Brandbuilt, have really put together a great community that I think everyone should check out. And I'm really glad we get to connect here and talk a little bit more. So I know we're in different locations and different businesses, but there's always overlap. There's always synergies. There's always things for people to talk about and kind of become resources for the other, which is such a great thing. I am here in New York City. I work at a real estate brokerage firm in Manhattan, so I live and work in Manhattan. I work at a firm that started out as a small boutique family-run firm called R New York, and has since grown into the fastest-growing independent real estate brokerage firm in the history of New York City. Still family-run, owned, which we love because it's got that kind of tight-knit feeling to it. At the same time, it's entrepreneurial, and we can be out and do the things that we want to do and really run our businesses the way we want to. So it's.
But I have to ask.
Yeah.
I have to interrupt and ask, because I feel like this is something that all New Yorkers who live like in Manhattan probably get asked. How big is your actual apartment? I feel like that is a question. And you're a real estate guy, so Why not, right? We have to ask the funny questions.
There are some really small apartments in New York City. There are some crazy small, and you say, well, how could someone even live there? You'll see one room, a box, a studio apartment, and you won't see a bed, and it's the Murphy bed that falls down from the wall at night. If you ever saw the movie Wanderlust with Paul Rudd and Jennifer Aniston, they buy the tiniest apartment where they're kind of standing there. It's really funny. And in some cases, it's not that much of a stretch. My wife and I are very fortunate. We live in a 2-bed, 2-bath apartment that's close to 1,200 square feet. In New York City, that's a good size apartment. And we have our own private balcony, which is really nice. Our own private terrace, I should say. And we get a little view of the East River here. So we have a really nice setup. We're very fortunate to be where we are. But it's one of the things I love about my business, I work throughout Manhattan and seeing it's not just different neighborhoods, different particular apartments and buildings that can be so different. I love that part of my job. I would not like to just be sitting there in a kind of rote scheduled day, and I really love that.
That's one of the things that's so great about your content too, because you do some really cool videos. Like he doesn't go out and video every single listing he has, or but when he finds these really cool, unique when he finds these really unique places and buildings, he videotapes it and he walks through it and he shows you and there's so much of that in the city, right? The architecture and even the newer buildings, because there's newer designers that are coming out and architects that are coming out that are like doing new, innovative, really cool stuff. So that's one thing I always watch your video walkthroughs every time you have one, because I'm like, oh, look how cool that is. I want to go there. Like, I can't afford that because it's $5 million, but I would like to try.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I try and do things that kind of that feel, authentic and genuine. I've started. I bought a selfie stick, and I started just turning my phone on. And as I'm walking down the street, I start talking about whatever I'm, working on or thinking about that day. And it's New York, so people don't. No one cares. No one thinks.
And no one pays attention.
No one thinks. There are so many other much weirder things going on around me that I can just walk down the street and it's fine. That's good, because then it's a flavor of whatever neighborhood I'm in, whatever particular block. Because in New York City, things can change block by block. It's not even neighborhood by neighborhood. Someone can say I love Avenue A, Avenue B, the next avenue. God, I hate it there. They're just different things. And so the varied amount of content that I feel like I should continue to try and come up with here, I'm just going to keep doing, and kind of, just to the extent that I can do things that I don't see other people doing, I would like to do that, because I want to share my perspective on what I do and see it.
I want to talk about that for a second, because that's one of the greatest things about the type of content that you're putting out there. And one of the things that I think that you do so well, that people with years upon years upon years of experience, first of all, for everyone who's listening, you're probably sitting there thinking, oh, yeah, he's got years of experience. He's probably been doing this forever. He hasn't. And that's the coolest part, because he figured it out. But the thing is he took the time, he studied the masters of content creation, and he figured it out. And this is and I know we talk a lot about, obviously, operations and technology and stuff like this, but the operations side of your business content is huge. The words you put out, the content you put out, what you say, what you do, it gives your brand a personality. And he's doing such a great job of that. And I would love for you to talk about that process, because I really feel like when you find somebody online, like a Gary Vee or somebody like that, who's just a natural at it, right? And you think, oh, well, they've been doing this forever. Of course, their stuff is great. It doesn't have to be complicated. And what I think that you've done an amazing job of, and the process I want you to tell people about, is the fact that you just alluded to it a little bit, but you're not overcomplicating it. You bought a selfie stick and you're walking around and you're showing your life. Yeah, like, you're showing people your life. And because you're in a lifestyle business, show them your life. Show the lifestyle part of the business. And oh my gosh, people like that. Well, no shit. Like, people want an apartment in New York City. So what do? You show them the apartments in New York City, right? So it's just that simple. I think too many people overcomplicate the content side of their business. And like, they try to wait for perfect. Done is better than perfect. Real. Bloopers. I've seen a few videos where he's like, oh, oops. And he like turns around, that stuff is real. It makes people know that you're human. Yeah. So talk about that for us for a little bit, because I think it's an amazing journey that you've been on.
You make such a great point. We overcomplicate everything. Whether it's what we post online or the person we want to, ask out on a date or whatever, we overcomplicate every single thing. And Gary Vee talks about that a lot. He's like, he always goes, pick up this and start recording yourself. I don't care what you're doing. And it's just the prompting to get you going, because it's so easy to say, I want to write out my script. I want to think it through. I want to get every word right. And Danny Del Vecchio from Brand Built says the same thing. Stop scripting things. Just start making a video. Even if you're not going to post it, just start making it. Just start doing something. Although he says, just put it out there, get it out there. And I always thought LinkedIn was for job search. And so I really never did anything on here. And it wasn't much more than a year ago. I started just listening to, I go to YouTube and I'd say, all right, who are people that are putting things out on LinkedIn that I should be listening to and taking some advice from? Gary Vee was on there. That's how I found Nat and Darren. And the thing is, you just start doing it and you don't overthink it. The right people your post, your content will resonate with the right people. It won't resonate with everybody because it's not supposed to, you know? Yeah. Who cares? Who cares? The idea that I have to, count my likes and my reactions and all the different things is just, it's nonsense because it stops you from so many opportunities. Like the opportunities that we miss out on because we're like not moving out of our comfort zone are, you can't count the ones that you miss, So you just start, I think there's a reason why Nike's slogan, "Just Do It," is considered arguably the most successful ad campaign of all time. And I think it's because just do it. Stop with all the noise and nonsense.
How many, because there's another thing this is a really great point too, because how many conversations do you think that you have on like a weekly basis based off of content that you've put out? 2, maybe? Like actually like qualified conversations, like with people who actually want to know more about the city and what you're doing.
How many a week? It, yeah. It's a fairly, I don't want to make it seem like I have this onrush of incoming, emails and messages, but it's conversations that start and then continue to go. And then all of a sudden I'm meeting someone for coffee and all of a sudden we're talking about what it is that they want to do, maybe not today, but in 3 months, here's what I'm going to have to start to explore.
Exactly. And that's kind of, so what is so great about this style of content, okay, for all the people that think they need 80 to 100,000 followers, that's great. But that is a job in its own. Like that right there, that is an influencer. That is different than somebody who's trying to grow a brand and somebody who's trying to grow a business. You don't need 80,000 followers to get qualified conversations with people. And so that's something that people need to understand. And when you have a smaller but qualified audience, you're having conversations with the right people and not just everybody who wants to comment on your shit, which is awesome. Because even looking at like your last couple of posts, right? Like you have 26, 32, 50 comments. That's a lot of comments for an audience of your size. And that's the thing that people don't realize is when you look at the engagement rate, your engagement rate is higher than somebody who has 100,000 followers. Because when you got to look at it that way. Yeah, you have to look at it like when you look at just like the vanity metrics of likes and stuff like that. Yes. Okay, obviously, if you go from, like 2,000 to 2, there's probably something wrong and you should maybe figure out what's happening. But when you look at the engagement rate, like if your likes and stuff like that go down, but your engagement is still the same, awesome. Who cares? Right? Yeah. And that's the thing that people don't realize is they're looking at the wrong metrics. Or I shouldn't even say it that way. That's the wrong way to say it. It's not that you're looking at the wrong metrics. It's that you're looking at the metrics in the wrong way. Okay. So engagement rate, when you think about it, that's the people that are actually engaging with your content and then generally turning into a conversation, right? They're your brand loyalists. They're the people that are engaging and liking, and they're actually commenting and sending you messages, and they're the people that you're meeting for coffee. And like these are the people that are engaged with your brand. The people who fly by, like, and then like never come back, or they come back once a month, those aren't people that you actually are going to build a relationship with. So who cares? Yeah. And so that's when you hear the conversations about ignore the vanity metrics, that's what they mean. You're not truly ignoring them. Like, obviously, if one day you wake up and you open LinkedIn and yesterday's post got 5,000 likes or whatever, and today's post got 400, you're going to be like, oh, wait, I should probably, like, at least figure out what happened. But that's not the norm, right? Like, that's not the normal thing, and it shouldn't be the only thing that you focus on. So too many people are out there trying to put out content like yourself and then stressing out, like you just said, stressing out about the likes and the shares and these metrics that aren't actually moving anything or stressing out about the wrong things. Like if you stopped having conversations, like you went from having one conversation a week, couple conversations a week or a month or whatever that actually created long-term relationships, and then all of a sudden for 2 months you had 0, 3 months you had 0, that's more of a concern, right? The conversations stopped. Who cares about the likes? You want the conversations, you want the networking. And I think, anyway, so the whole point is that your content does that. It engages people because it gives them things that they actually want to engage with. The lifestyle content that you're putting out and you're producing makes people want to talk to you, even if they can't afford an apartment in New York City, right?
Yeah. And you know what's also funny? We hear about, how people are on LinkedIn, but they're kind of lurkers and they're not participating, they're not reacting, it's amazing how pretty consistently I will talk to somebody. I've just talked to a friend who I haven't talked to in a long time in San Francisco, and he said he's never reacted to anything, never commented on any of my posts or anything, and said, man, he goes, I love your post. He goes, I love the recent one you did about, and he tells me, and I was like, I never would have known that, and what's also really cool is when you have these things where people do interact and you're able to meet for coffee or whatever. And when you get to the point with someone where someone says, how'd you two meet? And you go, I think we met on LinkedIn. Like you almost forget because now it's a relationship versus, a LinkedIn connection. That's really cool too.
It's amazing how, and the other thing that people need to remember, like for someone like Kevin, who it's a local business, right? Like it's local to New York City. Or if you're local to Chicago, you're local to North Dakota, I don't care where you are. There's so many freaking people on LinkedIn. You will make local connections. So if you're a local business, just get on there and start promoting about your business. Because the type of business that Kevin's in, for him, it's invaluable to reach executives and CEOs of whatever niche they're in. If they're looking for real estate in New York City and they start seeing Kevin's posts and they're like, yeah, okay, I can meet him I could go. And the connection building and the networking building is so much more important than worrying about if somebody in South Texas liked your post. Who cares? Focus on the people that are actually in your area. It doesn't matter. Because he's not going to sell. Well, maybe you will. Maybe you're going to sell something to somebody in South Texas, in New York City, and Manhattan. Right. I have no idea. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah. No, but you're right. As much as we are a big city, it's still a local town. It's still that local geography. And if I can say to somebody, are you free on Wednesday or Thursday? You want to grab coffee in the afternoon? Like that meeting in person and spending 20 minutes grabbing coffee. I have my afternoon espresso every day anyway, so why not do it with someone else? And we can talk about coffee since we're both big coffee people. Yes, but that is such a it takes away that huge city isolated feel to. Oh yeah, we're just a couple people meeting in town for coffee.
Oh my God, you're actually human. I'm not sitting behind a screen, right? And
right.
We all need to figure out how to get to that part of life. Because even if we're I'm a completely online business. I could work with the guy in South Texas. I can work with Kevin. I can work with whoever.
Right.
But it's never going to be the same as if somebody who from Milwaukee or somebody here local in Madison reaches out to me and says, hey, let's meet for coffee. I would love to learn more about your business. I want to know if you can help me, right? That connection is always going to be better. So those are the connections that you should be shooting for. And now we can talk about coffee because Kevin and I share this love for coffee. As everyone knows, I'm obsessed. And I've had a few people tell me now that I should start my own coffee brand. And I think I'm going to do it.
I like that idea. I like that very much. And I will be your first customer.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's going to come.
I
It's
love
going to be
that.
coming very soon. You heard it here. I decided, why the heck not? I mean, why not add another business to my portfolio that takes up my time? Because I have
What the
so much
hell?
free
Why
time
not?
these days,
Why
right?
not?
Like
Why not? Why
three
not?
teenage boys, 2 businesses already. Let's
You
start a
have
third
3
one.
teenage boys. Oh boy. Okay.
I do. One's right there behind
Wow.
this wall.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're in school now, so it's great, except for this one. But you know, it's my house is a zoo. I was gonna say, I don't know if you have kids or nieces or nephews or anything like that, but I would love to hear the reaction when you tell them, "Yeah, I bought a selfie stick today."
Yeah. I know.
My
I know.
kids laugh at me so hard when I do that stuff.
It's funny. So here, it's my wife and I. We don't have kids, but we have our nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
You know, when I first bought, I was like, wait a minute. If I buy a selfie stick, I might like that guy. You know, selfie stick. It just felt weird.
So it was actually one of my brothers goes, because I had been doing, just this thing.
Yeah.
And then one of my brothers said, why don't you just get a selfie stick? And I was like, yeah.
That's what makes sense.
That'll make my life easier.
I wouldn't even ask for the response from the younger ones.
Oh man, God, what did I say the other day? And it caused like this chain reaction of WTF, Mom. I used the word slay or something like that because I hear it now. I go, and I was just, I don't know. It was just, I don't even know how it came up. And they were all like, it was like everything in the room stopped and they all just heads turned and they looked at me and I was like, I can't use that. But you guys use it. They're like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, apparently that is a word I cannot say.
It is so funny. My wife's niece was, she was talking about, her nephew actually was talking about like if you want to like just dismiss somebody, just put the fries in the bag. Have you heard this? Just put the fries in the bag, bro. That's like your dismissive line to someone, like, stop talking sort of thing. And I was like, you know what? I'd like to use that, but I know I'll sound like, an idiot, but I like it. I like the line. I like it a lot. Just put the fries in the bag, bro. I'm gonna.
The one that I always use, and I will never stop using it because it fits my life. And as soon as I say it, you're going to be like, "Oh yeah, that is definitely something that Meghan would say." I always say that's a problem for future Meghan to worry about.
I like that.
Right? Because in the technology world, when like shit breaks, because something is always broken, I'm like,
yep.
That's a problem for future Meghan to worry about.
I like the compartmentalization of the problems, and we're not worrying about that one now. We're just not. Love it.
All of these things to worry about, that's a future Meghan problem, like over there. And I don't know. It's
fantastic.
Great. I love having teenagers in the house because, well, I mean, obviously there's a love-hate relationship because they're a pain, but they're awesome, right? Like they're great. And I learned so many weird, obnoxious things from them. And I'm like, I should use that. And they're like, no, Mom. No, you should not.
No.
Man, you ruined all my fun.
It's so amazing. The people that we used to think we're old, that were old to us, we are just the old people now. We are the old ones. And you know what? I'm good with that. I really am. I'm fine with that.
I think I'm good with that too. And this is a really good wrap up for us because I'm good with that because we've created these lives that we love. And I see you doing that like on a regular basis. Is it always perfect? No. But you have, now that you're building this brand and you're, as part of this business, but you've really built a life for you and your wife that you actually enjoy, right? I see you guys traveling and doing all this really cool stuff. And it's like, that's what being a business owner and an entrepreneur and a brand builder is all about. You build a lifestyle that you love. I mean, obviously, yes, you have to have revenue goals and money goals, but the money goals should be tied to your lifestyle. If it doesn't affect your lifestyle the way you want it to, then don't do it. I would love to get your take on that before we jump off.
Yeah. So I wish I would have thought this way when I was younger. I think for anyone who's saying, what do I want my lifestyle to look like as I get older? How do I want it to be on a day-to-day basis? How do I want it to be? And I'm particularly fortunate to be in real estate because I think for me, it's not this one chunk of money that you get saved up. Saving is great, but how quickly can you take your earned income and convert it to passive income? That if you can do that one thing, and my wife and I do that through real estate. If you can do that one thing, your lifestyle as you get older will not only will it produce monthly income for you, your wealth is increasing just as time passes because you've got if you're investing in real estate, you've got these properties, right? And that's something that I wish I would have thought about earlier. I mean, it's we always think that we should have, when you're 20, yeah. But that is one of the key drivers of being able to design your lifestyle as opposed to just reacting to everything until you can retire or the day you die.
Shit hits the fan.
Yeah, yeah. So that's and let me throw out one last thing because I just think it's so timely right now. For younger people who particularly, if there's anyone watching who is a renter in New York City, rents just hit all-time highs again in New York City. The median asking rent in Manhattan is $4,800. That's the median asking rent.
For what size apartment?
That's like a one-bedroom apartment, but that's the median. That's the median. But
damn.
And the inventory is so low. The rental inventory is 1.4%. There's no inventory, and we just don't have enough housing stock. Well, they haven't been building ever since the financial crisis, 2008. They have not built enough new inventory. So I'm working right now with several first-time home buyers who are saying, Uncle, I give up. I'm not gonna rent anymore. And because of tax benefits and homeowner benefits, there are more scenarios where people can buy rather than rent than they think because they're not aware of all the deductions and homeowner benefits. So my one message, if anyone's watching who's a renter in New York City, explore, reach out to me, reach out to your own broker, whoever it is, but explore if you can actually afford to buy an apartment rather than rent. And that will help with your lifestyle design down the road. So that's kind of my final take.
That's crazy. And I actually completely agree with you because I have some friends that live in the city and they ended up doing that. And it was like they were tight for a little while and then it became very apparent that was actually the better way to go because then the rent started skyrocketing. They were actually paying less to buy. And, not everybody can afford to do that, but this is a perfect way for you. Tell everybody if you have questions, okay? First of all, don't come to me because just don't come to me. But first of all, tell everybody where they can find you, how they can reach you, because you should definitely go talk to Kevin, especially if you're in New York City. And even if you think that you can't afford like his price bracket or his listings or anything, Kevin is such a great guy. He's going to answer your questions. He's going to talk to you no matter what level of human you are because he's a good human. So go check him out on LinkedIn for sure. Is there anywhere else that you want people to reach out to you if they want to?
Sure. LinkedIn is great because I'm on LinkedIn, every day, almost every day. But I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, but always LinkedIn. You can reach me. I'm one of those people that loves talking shop. So if someone says, do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? I love doing that. It doesn't matter if they ever, buy an apartment through me. I just like talking shop. So reach out to me anytime.
Awesome. And we will drop your link in the show notes so they can just click the link and go right to you. This was awesome. This was such a spin. Obviously, we didn't talk about technology and stuff like that, but that's okay because what you're doing is such an important part of the operation side of your business and your brand and your growth. And it's something that people always kind of forget about. They forget about the logistics of the actual content and the words and the people that they're talking to and how to network and how to engage. And I really enjoyed this conversation a lot. I hope you did as well. And everybody, if you're listening, go and check out Kevin's content on LinkedIn, and Instagram's really good too. He's got some cool videos there. And reach out if you've got questions about New York City real estate or just real estate in general. He may not know the laws or whatever of your city or state, but I'm sure he has somebody in his network that he can forward you on to.
Yeah,
Because he's got
absolutely.
a
You could be in California or anywhere else, and I'll connect you with someone out there if that's where you're looking and have questions about. But thanks so much, Meghan, for having me. This was fantastic. Really loved it, and I will look forward to seeing what we get. Love to see clips. I love watching clips from your podcast all the time. So I'm very curious to see what comes out here.
Yeah, we have really fun conversations. Remember, everybody?
You keep them. You pull out great things in people.
I try. I try my best, and
You do
keeping
it
it conversational really helps.
Yeah.
All right,
Awesome.
everybody. Remember, technology, operations, building a lifestyle. All of this is only good when it works. Hopefully, we can help you make it work with these conversations, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.